Did I choose my outfit to match this collection? Guilty as charged. We sure did. I sure did. Miss Huda Beauty, you just stay innovating. You stay innovating and creating new things, and hats off to you because you've done a really great job. If you've been on social media, you may or may not have seen her latest launch. She came out with creamy obsession palettes. Like, you guys, incredible. If you have not seen the latest launch, here it is. Super cute. I received this cute little bag in PR and it had both palettes and a few other little trinkets, so let's dive in.
Looking like a baddie, I show up and make them stop. Wanna know my name so badly, cause I run this whole block. Flip my hair, move my head.
Where are my manners? If you've never met me before, hi, how are you? My name is Safai Kelly, your makeup bestie. And if you are a returning bestie, hey, hi, hello, what is up, glam fam? Listen, I'm actually really nervous about today's video. I really am, because like, I don't really work with cream eyeshadows. I don't really do liquid eyeshadows. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. But we are doing this. We are doing this. So this collection is the Creamy Collection by Huda Beauty. Here's a cute little tote that we have here, and as you see, we are on brand. That's why I chose this dress. I literally saw this collection. I was like, yeah, we have to wear this dress to film this. In this collection, we have the Grayish Creamy Obsessions eyeshadow palette. And we also have the Neutral Brown Creamy Obsessions eyeshadow palette. So here are the two palettes. It just looks so good holding them up. Now you guys know why I wore this dress, because like, ooh, we are on brand, we are on point. Here are the two palettes. I did want to talk about the packaging a little bit. So we have like plastic packaging and it's got a soft matte cover. We have embossed lettering on the front for Creamy and Huda, and it's got like a slight gloss to it. On the inside of the palette, we do have a mirror, which is really nice. So it's like you can travel with this and have a mirror inside your palette. I love that. And in this palette, we have 9 shades with 4 different innovative textures. I also received this little brochure pamphlet. What would you consider this? I always love receiving these because it's like having like a makeup newsletter or like a makeup magazine that just like gives you like all the highlights and details of a collection that you need to know. So Huda, thank you for always including these. Why don't we dive into what these textures are about? So the cream to matte formula are going to be the eyeshadows that are cream and transform into a soft powder with a matte finish. Great to use alone or as a base to add intensity to a look. The cream to metallic formula are going to be shadows that have a unique formula that have a major impact alone or give a glittery finish. Then the cream to marble are going to be the powders that have abstract swirls with transformative colors and texture for a velvety feel and multi-dimensional finish. Lastly, we've got the set. Now the set shade is going to be super thin and velvety translucent powder to set your look in place to last all day. Like, I'm already trying to like figure out like what kind of look are we gonna do with these? How are these gonna perform in the eye? I did swatches of both of these palettes on the back of my hand so you can see what the shades look like on my skin tone and also see how pigmented these shades are. The first palette I swatched was a Grayish Creamy Obsessions palette. We have light enough shades and deep enough shades and shades in between to fill in the gaps, and I think that they did a really great job with the color story of this palette and the depths of the shades that we have included. The next eyeshadow palette that I swatched was the Neutral Brown Creamy Obsessions palette, and I don't know what it is about like browns and warm tones. Like they just do something to me. They call me, I'm attracted to them. So like I opened up this palette and I was like, wow, I like her. Again, the color story is beautiful here. We have a variety of shades, a variety of depths, and I honestly can't wait to get this on the eye just because of like the shades that we have going on, and they swatched really nicely. It was very interesting. The formula is creamy and then it does kind of dry down to a powdery finish. It's kind of hard to explain, hard to put in words. Before we dive into an eye look and like start to get those creative juices to flow, I did want to mention that these palettes do retail for $32, and to be honest, I don't think that's outrageous for an eyeshadow palette, especially coming from Huda Beauty. Like, I think that's pretty on brand and on mark price wise. I have no idea what I'm gonna do, you guys. I really am like, what look are we doing? I'm gonna figure that out, and I'll be right back so we can get into a look and talk about the quality of the shades, the experience, all that jazz. All right, this is what we have going on the eye. It was an interesting experience. Before going into this, I had so many questions. I had so many concerns. But this is what we have going on. I did end up using a shade from each palette, but let's just get in closer so we can talk about these eyeshadows. To start things off, I'm taking this brown shade from the Neutral Brown palette. I'm gonna place the shade right in my crease. Now, when starting off, I was like, how do I know when I have enough product on my brush. And so when I first dipped in, I would test it out on the back of my hand to see like what we're working with. And I realized that, you know, we can sort of build up the shades, so they are a little bit buildable. I was also concerned about the blending process. You know, I was wondering, is this going to start lifting up my concealer and powder base? Like, then we're gonna be a patchy mess. And I can certainly tell you that that's definitely not the case. It actually blends out really easily and not really disturbing what I have going on underneath. So that was a huge relief. It might actually make things easier for a beginner because the product just blends out so easily. To add some depth, I'm taking the darker brown in the neutral brown palette. I honestly didn't think that I was going to enjoy using these, but honestly, surprisingly, they're not hard to use. I'd say they're pretty user-friendly, and I'm using this deep brown shade to sort of define the crease even more so. So we're gonna be doing a softer version of a cut crease. Taking the first brown shade that we used, I'm gonna run this along the lower lash line. I'm also gonna take the darkest brown in this palette along my lower lash line as well. So for our soft cut crease, I'm taking this beige toned shade in the neutral brown palette. I'm gonna place this on the lid, and I'm using more of a flat brush to give me more control and precision. I wanna say that I'm also really happy with the way the shades are working together. So not only was I worried that it would disturb my eyeshadow base underneath, but layering the colors, I was like, ooh, I don't know how they're gonna play together, if they're gonna be nice. But I will say I'm pleasantly surprised that they layer well. We're not having any separation, there's no crumbling or flaking. Everything's working really well. Honestly, a creamy eyeshadow is a great way to carve out a soft cut crease. Like, this is so, when I was doing my other eye, I was like, oh my god, where has this product been? Like, this is perfect. So now I'm taking the set shade in the neutral brown palette, and I'm literally just going to pat right on top of that beige shade we used to set everything in place. I wonder if I should be setting the whole eye with this shade. Okay, I'm gonna just loosely, I didn't do this with the other eye, but I'm taking a loose fluffy brush, and I have a little bit of that setting shade on there, and I'm just sweeping that over the rest. And it didn't really change the color, so I'm just gonna set the eyeshadow. And now I'm taking the darkest shade in the grayish palette. I'm taking an angled brush, and we're gonna kind of just line our lid. Where was this palette when we were doing smoky eyeliners? Because this is genius. Doing a smoky eye and using like this deep shade as a base, genius as well. I think I'm definitely gonna have to like do that. And I'm just gonna pull this out a little bit and sort of just like do a wing that disappears. Now to open up the eye and get that little hint of shimmer, I'm going in the grayish palette, and I took the marble shade in this, and it just ended up being a little bit too dark, so then I mixed the marble shade with this metallic shade in the grayish palette, and it was a match made in heaven. So I'm dipping into both of these shades, and just place this right in the inner corner and blend things out. I decided to line my waterline with something light. Okay, so here's a look on the eyes. I'm gonna finish things up with lashes and mascara, and I'll be right back so we can talk about this collection. Ooh, guys, here's a completed look. It happens to me every single time. Like, you'd think I'd be used to it by now, but I've been doing makeup for what, like 10 years? But by the time we get lashes and the lips done, it just locks it in place, solidifies what was meant to be, and here we have the look. It's giving face. It's giving just like beat down. She's looking really good. You guys, today was a journey. I was really afraid in the beginning. I was just like, ooh, an eyeshadow palette that's just like all creams, and I'm supposed to create a look out of that? I'd never really done like a fully cream eyeshadow look before, so I was really nervous about, you know, the texture of the eyeshadow and how it was gonna play out. Was it gonna disturb my eyeshadow base underneath? Was it gonna play well with the other eyeshadows? Like, what is it about? There's nothing to be concerned about. Actually, like, why didn't we have this sooner? These eyeshadows would have been super great. Like, you could use the dark shades to create a base for a smoky eye, like, or to smoke out an eyeliner. Like, where were these before? The lighter shades for cutting out a soft cut crease, or even laying down a base These make sense and they are very versatile. So Huda Beauty, hats off to you. Hats off to you, mate. You've done a lovely job. You really have. As far as pricing is concerned, I do think that $32 is a reasonable price for these palettes. You're getting 9 eyeshadows with 4 different types of textures, and it's very small, compact, and travel friendly. Between you and I'm actually so glad that today went the way it did, because I was like, when I got the PR, I was like, ooh, I don't know how it's gonna do. Can't mess it up on video, you feel me? Like, ooh. I think it'd be really interesting to see a bronzer in this formula, because we have cream bronzers, we have powder bronzers, but a cream to powder bronzer? Give it to me. Like, that sounds really intriguing, and that actually sounds like it would do really well on the face. It would blend out beautifully. So yeah, please give it to us. Bless us with one, because I think that'd be really, really awesome. I have to say I had a fun and interesting time today going through this collection, playing with the eyeshadows, talking about my experience, and giving my thoughts and opinions to you guys. But we're at the end of the video. You know what that means. If you liked today's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs. I wish you could do 2 thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Drop some comments down below. Is this something that you're interested in? Would you use this? And if I still have your attention and you've not yet clicked that subscribe button, go ahead and show it some love. And while I have you, you know, just like pitter-pottering around and clicking buttons, go ahead and click that bell button so you're notified every time I upload a new video. That is all for now, and I'll see you beautiful and amazing people in the next video. Peace and chicken grease. Chicken grease? That's just so weird. Peace? Are people still doing the peace sign? Bye, guys.